Welcome to the show, guys. It's Deepanshu Lakhwan, your host, and today we are going to share insights, debunk myths, and talk about how we can better our lives and live a healthier lifestyle through the means of sports, nutrition, supplements, and lifting. Well, before we start, I would like to give you a disclaimer that none of us here are healthcare professionals. Everything that we are going to share is based on our own research, and please take this episode for educational purposes only. Please meet my friend Brian.
Hi.
He pursues and have a common passion for health and fitness, but he does it through the means of sports. He loves playing football, cricket, and all those other things. And me personally, I like to lift weights, more on the boring side of the spectrum. Anyways, Brian, how do you feel today?
I'm feeling good. It's a good weather today in
Uh,
Poland.
It's it's,
So
uh,
yeah,
it's getting quite
yeah,
hot.
yeah.
All
Uh,
right. So let's jump right into the questions.
yep. I have pretty much questions for you, Deepanshu, that I need to ask because on your side of fitness, how do you feel it?
Uh,
So, what are the most common fitness myths surrounding weight loss and muscle gain, and what does science tell us about it?
right. So it's an interesting question. The biggest fitness myths that the first one that comes to my mind is lifting will get you girls. Second one is that spot reduction is possible. What do I mean by that? So there's a big concern about how can I reduce fat from one part of my body. For
Mhm.
example, my legs, my belly, my face, my chin.
Okay.
That's the biggest myth that you can reduce a particular spot of fat until and unless
Oh.
you do liposuction, which is a different story. But spot reduction is not possible. That's the first and the biggest myth there is. And second one is the cardio is like the best way to lose fat.
Mhm.
Uh, Hate to break it to you, it's not, because let me give you an analogy. If you weigh 100 kilograms, right,
Okay.
and if you are taking a kilometer walk, you're going to burn approximately 100 calories.
Mhm.
So in order to burn 600 calories, you need to run, not even walk. You need to run
Right.
for like 6 kilometers, which I find it quite a daunting task to do, right?
Mhm.
And when it comes to the law of thermodynamics, uh, what you put in, if you are not really burning that amount of calories, well, technically you are going to store it. Now
Mhm.
it could be that you are pursuing a very active lifestyle, that you have a lot of standing on, you are doing a lot of movement at your work, and you overall have not a sitting desk job.
Right.
If you have this, you're going to burn a little bit more calories, but in my opinion, these are the three things. If you're going to eat a lot and you're not going to burn it, you're going to store fat. That's
Okay.
basic physics, chemistry, biology, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Second one is cardio is the best way. It's not, but I will tell you
Yeah.
what's the best way to lose it. And the third one is spot reduction is possible, which is not. So these are the most common myths surrounding fitness in these days.
Yeah.
Brian, you said that you play football. How long have you been playing football for?
It's been now 6 to 7 years playing
Hmm.
football, many other sports, and like football, cricket. And cricket is more popular in India.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so cricket and also badminton. I like to
Badminton.
play badminton because it's like quick way to sweat faster.
Yeah,
You can say.
I think so. Yeah, and
Yeah,
also it's like
like it's like a cardio.
right,
Yeah,
and football actually involves a lot of cardio
yeah,
because that's the only game that it is so energy exhaustive that you have to technically run for 90 minutes, and it requires a level of fitness that other sports, for example,
yeah,
table tennis, don't actually do.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So we could,
Yeah.
we could just like jump on to the next
To the next
question.
question, yeah. So, what types of workouts are most important, like effective for gaining muscles, like muscle mass and losing weight? And are there any different approaches for males and females aiming to get like jacked up?
Jacked. Right. Okay, so this there's quite a lot to uncover here. There are a couple of things that goes into this process. First of all, if you want to, it depends completely on what type of goals you have. First of all, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to lose fat, you can follow a different protocol in approaching how your training plan looks like, how your diet looks like, how your supplementation looks like, or if you just want to get lean tissue, which is
Mm-hmm.
it's ridiculously hard to put even 2 kilograms of muscle. That's like 4.4 lbs of muscles in a year.
Oh.
If you can put 2 kilograms of muscle in a year, I would say you're outperforming 95% of the athletes whose aim is to just get jacked.
Mm-hmm.
Now again, there is this curve newbie curve. Whenever you just start going to the gym, you get this initial newbie gains. You grow fast,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason why you see these crazy cracked out teenagers in the gym lifting enormous weights. It's because they're playing on two factors. First of all, they're in their, they just crossed puberty
Mm-hmm.
and they don't
Yeah.
know what to do with themselves, so they have just this crazy energy to just lift weights and just destroy the gym
Yeah.
weights. So that's one thing about it. So when it comes to losing weight, let me not get sidetracked because I could just like keep
Yeah.
on speaking about it forever, right? So to lose weight, the best and the most scientific way that I have found in my last 7 years of lifting, because I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I've also maintained weight. So the best way that I found is, and according to science as well, is to have a weight training plan
Mm.
combined with 140 minutes of cardio a week, combined with an hour would be quite a lot, but 20 to 30 minutes of high intensity workout,
Workout.
like sprinting at
Mm.
20 kilometers per hour, just taking 2 3 sprints. So this protocol works the best.
Mm-hmm.
So all you need to keep in mind is 140 minutes of cardio is like the most optimum number that the scientists found,
Mm.
that if you do this, you're going to lose the weight at the speed that that will precede anything else.
Okay.
Now
Mm.
I would like to add a couple more things in this.
Mm-hmm.
Intermittent fasting actually really works.
Mm.
How does it work? Well, there's something called ketosis in our body, right? We
Right.
can take energy from two sources,
Mm-hmm.
either our fat
Mm-hmm.
or the carbohydrates that we actually ate, or from our food.
All right.
So after almost 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
like plus minus some hours, our body starts to burn the reserve fat,
Okay.
right? So the reason why we have fat in the first place is because that, let's say, let's go back thousands of years,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't really afford to eat like regular meals. So whenever
Yeah.
your body found out about the calories, it tried to store as much as possible to ensure the long-term
Mm.
survival
Yeah.
of our being. However, it's not really required these days. You don't have a lack of food
Mm-hmm.
as much. If you want food, you could just get it anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime.
Mhm.
Just you could order it. However, the body hasn't changed as much because it takes a lot of time to evolve for us human beings, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why when we eat, we just store body fat. So what intermittent fasting does is start to break down that body fat,
Okay.
right? And it puts us in the situation of survival. When we are in a situation of survival, when you're hungry, our brain works faster. Our body's testosterone, especially in males, it goes up by 250%. Our
Yeah.
dopamine level goes up by 250%, especially after 32 hours of fast.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my favorite things to do is, not that I do regular 32 hours of fast, but I do a long fasting session, maybe 16 hours to 20 hours, and then I lift weights.
Okay.
Now, at that time, it's quite hard to lift weights because you're just not having energy from the
Right.
fuel
Yeah.
sources of those carbohydrates. However, when it comes to burning fat, I found it as the most effective way of cutting up weight. You can even lose 2 to 3 kilograms per week if
Mhm.
you're above 100 kilograms. So
Yeah.
that one is about losing weight, about gaining muscle tissue. Number one thing, training till failure. Now, what does that mean?
Mhm.
Training till failure basically means that you're lifting and you're incapable of doing one more rep, but it
Okay.
also comes with the disadvantage of you injuring yourself. So until you are a little bit advanced in lifting, or you have a spotter which is trying to
Yeah.
ensure your safety, try not to do it. But the best way is to use machines, because the chances of weight falling on you are that non-existent.
Yeah.
You just, like, the machines are safer, so you can always do that. So let's say the optimum range of training for muscle hypertrophy, that means like maximizing the muscle size,
Size.
is means the appropriate range would be 8 to 12 reps. And 12 reps, if you can push it to the 13th, that's the only way you will get better and better when it comes to building muscle.
Mhm.
For example, let's say you can lift 100 kilograms of, like, bench press for 3 reps this week.
Mhm.
The next week, try to get it to 102 kilograms, or try to do 4 reps. If
Okay.
you're not pushing beyond your own limits, you're not giving your body any reason to put on additional muscle. And that's the reason why a lot of people get to this plateau or stagnant growth, that they are not able to cross that plateau of gaining more muscle. So other stuff about gaining lean tissue is lifting more doesn't mean that you're going to get jacked. If that was the case, the gym owners would be the most humongous creatures on the planet, right? And there's a certain amount. There are a lot of factors that go into how jacked you can be. It depends on your testosterone, depends on your genetics, it depends on your frequency of training, how much rest you are taking, what supplements you are taking, are you on any sort of anabolic steroids. It's just like it's an amalgamation of so many things that people try to simplify fitness into a couple words. It could be if you just follow the protocol of just training until failure, sometimes doing intermittent fasting, and then we will jump on to the topic of we should eat, when we should eat, and all of these things. And now the third part, Brian. It's about if you want to maintain what you already have, right? Because sometimes we just don't want to lose
obviously.
what we have already attained, and sometimes people are busy, they have better things to do than to go to the gym. Unlike me, I really don't have. But anyways, so 2 to 3 times a week for 40 minutes would be an optimum training time. If you can give it, as they say, a healthy mind lives in a healthy body. And this is so true. One of the best things you could do for your brain is exercise. That's the number one thing. Second best thing is, don't abuse it with the substances, right?
Right.
And take appropriate sleep. We will also jump on to the case of brain, but this is the answer for what types of workouts are most effective for gaining weight, losing weight, and to maintain.
Right.
Right. Okay.
I would like to share my experience of losing weight, because even I was I'm actually fat because I've put on weight. But before, I used to do this, what you said is ketosis.
Yeah.
I tried this for like 3 weeks, I can say, but I was not working out. I was just maintaining the diet,
Yeah.
and I was just walking every day, 10,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
I lost weight
Right.
because of that.
Mhm.
In 3 weeks, I lost 3 kgs. So yeah,
Right,
and
even-
I was
even
not
without
eating
excessive
yeah.
excessive exercise.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I
there's
was
your
on no
answer.
sugar diet, and I was eating only protein, no carbs.
Mhm.
Carbs like very light,
Right.
like in a whole day, like 25 to 50 grams of carbs.
Right.
So
So that's quite low.
so yeah, I was motivated that time, but I lost the motivation later. So
It,
yeah,
it happens with the motivation. That's like actually the biggest problem with motivation.
Yeah,
It just
that's
comes
why-
and goes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
just-
why I like more to play
Yeah.
rather than go to the gym, because I go to the gym for 2 to 3 weeks, and then I just
Yeah, you
lose
just-
that motivation.
Right.
So-
That's a problem with quite a lot of people as well. But that's what makes sports so appealing, because
Yeah.
you are having fun, but at the same time, you're socializing, you're having fun, and you're also doing something good for your physique.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to something very specific, like there is a difference between exercise and training.
Mhm.
Exercise is doing those burpees, those ropes, and just working.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
exercise.
Exercise, yeah.
But when it comes to training, it requires the gradual progression of how many weights you can lift, and
Mhm.
are you progressing over time. So that's like
Yeah.
the basic difference. And there are different types of trainings as well. CrossFit, cardio, then weightlifting.
I like those types because I'm not more into bodybuilding,
Mhm.
but I tried.
Right.
I tried all the time, but never could make it to to bodybuilding. So
Right, yeah.
like people tell me, because my physique is like that, like I can gain muscles faster
Mhm.
and I can shape the body faster, but it doesn't come from inside.
Yeah, I get that part.
Yeah.
And about bodybuilding, like bodybuilding is a term that is so misunderstood. Uh, when we see a jacked guy, right? We
Mhm.
see him and we're like, he's a bodybuilder. Now he could be a weightlifter, he could be a crossfitter, he
Yeah.
could be just an endurance athletes don't really look jacked.
Mhm.
So in the gym, when you want to actually maximize the size of your muscles, you need to train until failure. However, if you want to increase your weightlifting capacity, you need to maximize 1 to 3 reps. That's the optimum rep range. You need to
Okay.
lift extremely heavy. Now there are people on internet these days who look. There is a guy called this guy who goes to the gym and he lifts extremely heavy. I think
Mhm.
his name is Vladimir. He's from some country, right?
Okay.
And he looks like super lean, but he lifts humongous amounts of weights,
Mm.
like 320 kilograms deadlift, but he's like 67 to 70 kilograms, right?
Okay.
And he's a weightlifter. He doesn't
Mhm.
look jacked, but he's extremely strong.
Mhm.
So if you see a person who's like extremely jacked, people say that muscles don't mean you can do this.
All right.
Believe me, if a person looks jacked, he's extremely strong. So we have this myth about just like this is for show and
No.
don't please just don't, because in order to maximize the size you also
Mhm.
need to be strong. It couldn't it they both have to go like hand in
Hand in
hand.
hand. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move on to next question. I have a lot of questions actually. So,
Hmm.
uh, so what supplements are considered most beneficial for enhancing physical health, and why?
Yes, right. So before we jump on to the topic of supplementation, Brian, I would like to talk a little bit more about exercising when it comes to stretching. How is it beneficial, right?
Mm-hmm.
People have this myth about, should I stretch or should I not? Like, how often should I stretch? Why is it important? Right. So there are a couple. When it comes to the physiology of body, our body is made of bones, ligaments, tendons, muscles, veins, and then there is skin and all those. When we just join it, then that's the physiology
Yeah.
of our body. What stretching does, it stretches out our ligaments and muscles, so
Mm-hmm.
that if there is a sudden jerk that has been felt, let's say in an accident, or you just fell down from somewhere, if you're flexible enough, I
Yeah.
think your body can take out that initial shock,
Mm-hmm.
and it will prevent injury. It will make you, I won't say it will increase the muscle hypertrophy.
Mm-hmm.
However, it will definitely make you more injury prone. Your movement overall will be better. You will be less exhausted, less tensed, and you will not have those pains like in spots, like
All
lower
right.
back or all these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a follow-up question, which means like, how can I cure muscle soreness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it important to be sore in order to grow muscles? Okay,
Yeah.
so a little bit of inflammation is good for the body, because
Mm-hmm.
that's how our immune system works out. Let's say you have a temperature of 102, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a fever. That's your body's immune response to make to rise your body's temperature, so the bacteria or the viruses which can exist in the
Mm-hmm.
lower temperature cannot survive in the higher temperatures, for example,
Okay.
right? They will just die. So that's immune response. A
Mm-hmm.
little bit of inflammation is good. So when you actually go to the gym and then you lift it, you break down the muscles, and after breaking down those muscles, there is this gap.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, for example, this is the muscle.
Okay.
You go to the gym and you break it down, and
Mm-hmm.
there's this gap. And
Okay.
then you put protein and carbohydrates and
Mm-hmm.
appropriate amount of fats to build up that new muscle tissue, and that's how we add size.
Oh.
And
Okay.
when it's broken down, this is a little bit inflammation. So I wouldn't say that you always have to be sore after a workout, because that
Mm-hmm.
would be counterproductive. It could reflect on the other areas of your life where you have an important office meeting and your
Yeah.
body is extremely sore and your mood is down, your cortisol level is high, and you're all fucked. However, can you do something about muscle soreness? Yes, you can, but for the most part, you really cannot do much about it. It's based on the scientific evidence, because like you could take hot and cold therapy,
Mm-hmm.
which will all it does is to increase the blood flow that will transport the nutrients to make you feel better.
Okay.
However, you just have to give it a rest day.
Yeah, that's the best
That's
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
You could do some stretching, but stretching can be counterproductive if you
Mm-hmm.
just had an extremely hard workout day.
Mm-hmm.
Please just take a rest, eat well, hydrate yourself, and if it just hurts, maybe you could just apply some sort of
Yeah.
some lotion or some
Yeah.
balm, or just to
Or maybe icing, something like
yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because when we also play like
Course,
football or
yeah.
any sport, I personally stretch before the game
Yes.
and also after the game.
Mhm.
Why is it important? Because if like to save some injuries, like to defend yourself from some injuries, because I have faced it, and like I was like goalkeeping once for a match, and I didn't stretch. I just jumped into the ground,
Yes.
and then there was a ball coming to me, and I just stretched my leg, and I tore my thigh muscle.
Oh shit.
So it was like a 4 centimeter tear or something like that.
Mhm.
So and I didn't understand it before. I thought it was just an injury, a normal injury. I didn't do icing.
Yeah.
at the start. So, but I couldn't walk later properly because I couldn't take weight on that leg.
Yeah.
So then I showed to a doctor, and he told me that okay, it's a 4 centimeter injury, tear in your muscle, and you shouldn't walk or not play, just rest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and
Resting is
yeah,
like
and do
the only thing
icing
you
to
could do.
it, and it will be fine. So I assure that stretching is important before any game or any, I think
Any
in,
physical
yeah, any
activity.
physical activity,
Exactly. It's like a must
because
have, right? Yeah.
yeah, it relaxes your muscles, and it avoids from contracting it and tearing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Right. So
So that was my
yes,
experience. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And Brian's right. If you do not stretch before any sort of physical activity, the chances of you getting injury is quite high. Let me share one more surprising
Mm-hmm.
statistic. Your level of sleep is also directly proportional to how likely you're about to get injured if you train hard enough in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
It means if you have taken 3 hours of sleep, there's, I think, please don't quote me on this, but you will have like 30 to 40% higher chances of injury.
Mm-hmm.
If you've taken 5 hours of sleep, you will have 50% higher chances of injury. Like, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Even 3 hours has less chances of injury compared to when you have taken 5 hours. But when you have taken like for 8 hours, the chances of injury are like extremely low.
Mm.
So if you haven't slept enough, you should try avoiding. You should try to avoid working out on that particular day.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Okay.
Now, Brian, what was the next question?
Ah,
Yes.
so the next
Yes.
question
About the
is,
supplements, right?
yeah, it's with the supplements. Which supplements have been shown to improve mental astuteness and help?
Actually, let's talk about the physical ones because we haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't touched that part.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just tell you what supplements are considered the most beneficial for enhancing your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
I have wasted a lot of money on supplements, and from personal experience, I know a couple of them which work, and a couple of them were an absolute waste of money. The best one, again, from extensive research and personal experience, that I found the number one supplement that you should be taking is magnesium.
Mm.
Now, there's also a catch there. There are different types of magnesiums that you will find in a supplement store. When you'll go there, you'll ask, I want magnesium, and he's going to ask, what type of magnesium you want? Magnesium citrate, magnesium malate, magnesium glycinate,
Mm-hmm.
all those things. And in my experience, you should take magnesium glycinate with an elemental amount of magnesium in it should be more than 400 mg.
Mm.
Meaning, with magnesium citrate, the problem is sometimes it's mixed with the citrate part, and that's
Okay.
80% citrate and only 20% magnesium.
Mm.
So in order to recoup your daily magnesium amount, you need to take 4 capsules,
Mm-hmm.
and you will exhaust your supply. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? So, right? For magnesium, glycinate is going to be the number one, with the elemental magnesium being 400 mg or more. Number second best, the one of the best supplements out there, most well researched, and pretty much the safest supplement to take is creatine, not only for your physical health but
Mhm.
also for your mental health, because it helps to retain water not in your body. It won't make you feel bloated,
Mhm.
but it increases the amount of water intracellularly, like within the cells, and
Mhm.
that makes your muscle bellies feel full. Don't worry, it won't bloat your face, and it's extremely amazing for your brain as well.
Mhm.
And number 3 is vitamin D3 plus K2.
Mhm.
So what there's a mistake that people do, and that can cause problems later on in life if they are taking supplementation without getting their blood work done or some things like that. So if you take vitamin D, which is actually good, especially in the countries where you lack sunlight,
Yeah.
like so when you take vitamin D, you need to take vitamin K2 with it, otherwise it won't metabolize. Like
Mhm.
it won't be transported to the place it is need to be.
Okay.
It's not synthesized properly. So vitamin D3 plus K2 is the absolute necessary
Mhm.
thing, and this is like the top 3. And then if you want to enhance, like the even if you want to get better results, you can always take omega-3 fish oil,
Mhm.
only given that you're not eating fish or any other thing in your diet, right?
All right.
And then for especially for males, zinc is shown to increase your muscle recovery ability
Mm-hmm.
and increase your testosterone. And then there are two herbal supplements that are called Shilajit and Ashwagandha.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these are herbs, and these
Okay.
are adaptogen herbs. It means you need to take them for like a week to actually see the effects. You cannot just like take it and tomorrow you will start experiencing some
Mm-hmm.
sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But again, do not take these supplements just because some you just heard it on YouTube from me. But do your research, right? Some
Yeah.
supplements
Right.
might be good for you, some might not be the best because let's talk about the downside of ashwagandha. It could make you feel numb, although
Mm.
your so here's the balance, right? This is our cortisol
Mm-hmm.
level. This is like the stress we have.
Okay.
The more stressed we are, the higher cortisol we have.
Mm-hmm.
So in the morning when we just wake up, our cortisol levels spike up, and that's how that helps us to wake up.
Okay.
That just pulls us out from the state of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is testosterone. The higher cortisol you will have, the lower testosterone you will have.
Mm-hmm.
The lower cortisol you will have, the less stressed you are, the higher testosterone you will have.
Okay.
It's like the opposite scale.
Mm-hmm.
So what ashwagandha does is it increases the free testosterone in the body by reducing the amount of cortisol that
Mm-hmm.
you have in your blood.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes cause the numbness of emotion. Some people report having that I don't feel the emotions as much, I feel numb, I don't feel motivated. So caffeine does help when it comes to feeling this that I want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So just be really careful with these herbs that you're experimenting with. And finally, for your body, there is one more supplement that is pretty good
Mm-hmm.
for your vascularity. Like if you wanna seem more veiny and more lean, I think L-arginine is pretty good.
Okay.
So this is a supplement which increases the concentration of nitrous oxide in your veins, and it will make you feel. Um, it's going to make the transport of the blood flow
Mm-hmm.
in your body a bit better.
Okay.
I personally take it on an empty stomach,
Mm-hmm.
not that just because you can also take it with food, but I take it on an empty stomach because there are a couple of supplements that are better taken on an empty stomach, and there are a couple of supplements that are better taken with food. For example,
Okay.
omega-3, zinc, and magnesium, they're always better taken after food. L-tyrosine, L-arginine, um, lion's mane mushroom, NAC, these are better taken right in the morning
Mm-hmm.
on an empty stomach because the absorption rate is a bit better. So these were the supplements for your physical health.
Okay.
And coming back to the next question that
Mm-hmm.
you asked me, Brian, that is about which supplements have
supplements?
been shown to improve mental astuteness and to help combat brain fog.
Okay.
So top of the list, well, this is not a supplement. This is actually a psychoactive drug, and that's caffeine. Caffeine takes the number
Oh.
one place in this world. Nobody can actually beat caffeine. However, if you take, there is a supplement called L-tyrosine. It is a
Mm-hmm.
dopamine precursor, right? So dopamine is the hormone for,
Yeah.
right? Dopamine is like,
Got it.
it's the hormone of more. You want to do
Yeah.
stuff, and the more you do, more dopamine you get, and it's a great feedback loop. However, there is the supplement L-tyrosine,
Mm-hmm.
which is a precursor to dopamine. It's the molecule that's been released, that's been converted into dopamine later on. So if you take L-tyrosine with caffeine,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to work best. It's going to make you extremely focused and sharp for almost 2.5 to 3 hours. Although please don't take it like every day because you will get used to it, and our body is really great at creating tolerances of whatever it could be.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an amazing drug, or it could be alcohol, for example. Like it will increase the tolerance level.
Mm-hmm.
Second supplement that I find really good is lion's mane. It's a mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a psychedelic mushrooms. I wish it was, but it's clearly not. But so when you take this mushrooms in the morning, it is beneficial to reduce your brain fog. Like sometimes you really cannot formulate sentences. You
Mm.
can think about it, but you cannot express it.
Okay.
This sort of a brain fog that we have. It will
Mhm.
help you think clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is NAC, NAC supplement, which basically replenishes antioxidant glutathione levels. Now, as I talked about L-tyrosine replenishing dopamine, NAC replenishes this antioxidant, which is responsible for making serotonin in our body, which is basically the happiness hormone. If you lack serotonin, you could if you if you lack serotonin, in extreme cases it's called serotonin syndrome, and your body can go through compulsions and anxiety attacks and all these kind of things. So and 95% of your serotonin is created in your gut, so it's important to maintain your gut bacteria if you want to actually have healthy amounts of serotonin flowing in your body, and to actually feel not depressed and not anxious. You need to take care of gut, because everything starts here, and then the rest of the body. So these are the three. I will just mention them one more time. L-tyrosine, lion's mane, and NAC will be for your brain and for your health. Magnesium glycinate, vitamin D3 plus K2, creatine, omega-3, zinc, shilajit, ashwagandha, and L-arginine are going to be at the top of the list. Again, do your research. So this is about that thing.
Okay.
Brian, do you take any supplements for
these are
sports?
all technical names for me, and I don't like to take more of the supplements. Like I don't even like to take tablets when I'm sick. So I just keep the body rested, and it goes on. So yeah, if I'm extremely sick, then I take some tablets. But just for normal thing, I don't like to take tablets. So
Is there a
like,
reason behind it, or is just completely psychological that?
yeah, it's completely psychological, I can say, because I don't know, I feel like taking too much medicines or taking too much supplements, it's not good for the brain.
Right.
That's my thinking. So yeah, but I want to counter question you on this. These are man-made supplements, right? I mean,
Not all of them.
yeah, but like ashwagandha and the shilajit, you said, so that is natural, but natural herbs. But these others are like man-made. So what is your take on natural supplements?
Right.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, actually, it's quite a good question that you asked. So when we talk about magnesium, for example, this is an element, right? It
Right.
exists. It's
Yeah,
not man-made.
yeah, yeah.
It's there.
Yeah,
It
it's there in
facilitates.
fruits and
Exactly.
yeah,
It
and
does.
vegetables,
It
yeah.
does. I think it has more than 80 functions in our body when it comes to digesting food and transporting proper elements to their places, and it does quite a lot of things. So well, that's the question about it, is like, what is actually natural and what is actually synthetic. We will come back to this, what is man-made, and
Okay.
that's a really good question as well. Creatine, yes, it's man-made.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
I've heard about
creatine.
it.
It's man-made in the lab. Creatine monohydrate is man-made, but creatine is also found in fish, in some types of beef, like some meats. Creatine is also found there. So you don't have
Okay.
to necessarily supplement yourself with creatine if you're eating 2.5 kilograms of meat a day, which is almost impossible. Until you are a passionate meat eater, that's a different thing. But however,
Yeah.
this creatine is also found in the food.
Okay.
Vitamin D3
Mhm.
and K2. Well, again, we use people say that you get vitamin D3 or vitamin D from sun. Actually, you don't. You get vitamin D from food, but sunlight helps to metabolize vitamin D and properly synthesize it to make you feel better. Zinc is again an element. Shilajit and ashwagandha, these are plants, and we could say L-arginine might be man-made. Again, I lack an expertise in biology as much, but as far as I know, most of these things they exist in nature. And they are beneficial for us. Some are not beneficial for us. We will talk about those steroids and all those things. But yeah, that's actually quite a good question.
Okay.
So, but believe me, these are called supplements because these are supposed to supplement your pre-existing diet.
Yeah, I get
If
that.
you go to McDonald's and you're banging up on Big Macs and then you are taking all these supplements, it's my humble recommendation, please don't waste your time and money doing that, because
Yeah.
if it will only work if your diet is on point. Now again, you can slip up one or two times in a week.
Yeah.
You just don't have to kill yourself and be Hulk Hogan. However, if your diet is not on point, if your sleep is not on point, and if your exercise is not on point, this thing is, just forget about what I said. It's not gonna work.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
First three precursors are sleep, exercise, and dieting. Then to supplement and to enhance all of these three processes, you take supplements, right?
Okay. To
Um,
just like support it.
mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
like support our diet, what we take every
Exactly.
day.
It's
Okay.
like it's just like a little bit extra push if you want to
Okay.
go over the edge to make you feel better. However, excess of these elements in your brain and body can also be toxic. So a really high amount of magnesium can cause anxiety in you, for example. So
Mm-hmm.
also you got to be careful about how much you're taking. The best way to find out about what you need is to go to a doctor, take a blood sample,
Mm-hmm.
and let him tell you what's good for you, what's not.
Okay.
But if you are a braveheart, hardcore person like me, just like go to supplement shop, just buy all of them, and do the experiments.
Okay, I have one more related question to this. So, what do you think about a normal person if they want to be just fit and not
Hmm.
build muscles and just stay fit?
Right.
So, what do you think they should take these
Right.
supplements or
Okay. So again, it's quite subjective about what we mean by staying fit, but I assume that you're saying remaining less than 20% body
Mhm.
fat in cases of males, and remaining under 30% body fat in terms of females, because females have higher body fat percentage
Mhm.
because they need to carry the child or
Mhm.
whatever. So that's Mother Nature is designed like that.
Mhm.
But when it comes to males, I think these are not necessary. If your
Okay.
diet is on point, I don't think you need even protein powder, because
Hmm.
whey protein doesn't exist in nature in its purest form. It is highly ultra processed. What we
Yeah.
eat as a whey protein, I don't think it's necessary, but it helps you to achieve that goal when you just want to maximize your fitness level until maximize your fitness level.
Mhm.
Then these things come into play, but I don't think
Mhm.
it's extremely necessary. You can do it by appropriate amount of exercise
Mhm.
and good amount of diet. I will talk about diet in a second as well. So
Okay.
what makes a good diet, right?
Mhm.
What do I personally eat on a day-to-day
Yeah.
level? Why is it like, is it easy or is it hard? For So first thing, it's an underrated factor, is how does your environment look like, right? I
Mhm.
don't order catering. I could Indian catering. I love Indian food partially because I'm Indian. I
Yeah.
think you are Indian too.
Yeah, I am.
And when it comes to food, I think it's just too good. Nothing
Yeah.
really beats it.
Yeah,
It's
actually.
there's yeah. This is a collective Indian agreement here that Indian food is actually great.
Yeah.
But the problem with Indian food is there is a lot of carbs in it.
Yeah.
There's super low protein, extremely high amounts of carbs, and oil is, yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
too much oil,
Yeah,
right?
that's why we gain weight faster.
Yeah, that's the reason
Like
why.
me, yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why. It's easier to gain weight than to lose when it comes
Yeah.
to following an Indian. It's tasty though. That's the price you pay
Yeah.
for everything. However, if you want to like push yourself for a month, this is how I would approach it.
Mhm.
Uh, just a quick information. I was doing this no days off challenge, which I went to the gym for 100 days
Mhm.
without taking any rest, and it wasn't achieved in the first trial. I took it to 36 days and then 45 and then 18 days, but I got sick every time. But
Mhm.
I had to like jump at it again and again. But the way I recovered every day after really heavy amounts of exercise
Mhm.
was in the morning. I didn't usually eat anything, but just took some probiotic.
Hmm.
Also, in the evening, I like to do something. I take 5 eggs. I just fry them.
Mhm.
Then I take grapes and oranges and radish
Okay, radish.
and twarogue. There's something called twarogue in Poland. It's amazing. That's 50 grams of protein, the best thing in the world.
Hmm.
And then there is something called Serek Wyszynski. I might be pronouncing that name wrong, but Daniel, yep. So these are a couple of things that I put all together, and it's approximately 120 grams of protein. Now, until a couple weeks earlier, there was this study that you cannot digest more than 30 to 35 grams of protein in one sitting.
Hmm.
But this new research came out and it said that even you can digest more than 100 grams of protein if you just eat it at the one time. This is actually good news for the people who do intermittent fasting and who just don't want to eat and keep your insulin level high all the time. So that's actually a good news. And there is this myth around tasty, like healthy food cannot be tasty. Believe me,
Yeah.
when you have a lot of fruits
Mm-hmm.
and some Indian spices, and you just have to figure out for yourself whatever you like. But
Right.
I just absolutely love this. It's not like my favorite meal for the day, and then you can also eat outside as long as you're keeping your diet up 80% healthy,
Mm-hmm.
even 70% healthy, and rest you could just eat chocolates or drink soda and whatever. You will be fine. You don't have to be hardcore 100% that I cannot just like jump on calories.
Yeah.
Then it will start to affect your mental health negatively, and then you will be unhappy, and the point of living is to be happy. And why are you trying to be fit? Just to be
Right.
happier. And if you're not happy by doing this, like, what's the point, right? So that's about diet. Keep it a minimum to like l- extremely low amount of processed foods, because it has a
Mm-hmm.
lot of preservatives
Right.
which can cause cancer. Like, everything can cause cancer these
Yeah.
days, but uh, that's the excuse people give. I will drink this can of soda because, like, because everything can kill you,
Mm-hmm.
right? What if I die tomorrow coming under a bus? Yes, you can, but you don't deliberately try to go under a bus, right?
Right.
So don't do these practices by eating, like, extremely highly processed foods. Yes, you can, but not too much.
Too
Try
much.
to keep it to more natural, self-cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're ordering catering, try to get like the cooked food is the
Cooked.
best food.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually.
That's my point. And
Yeah.
and just a quick little note at the end is you should keep your protein 30%,
Mm-hmm.
40% carbs.
Okay.
Sorry, 50 to 60% carbs, 20 to 30% protein, and 5 to 10% fats. What type of fats? Healthy fats. For example, you have this olive oil,
Mm-hmm.
virgin
Olive oil.
virgin olive oil.
Extra virgin olive oil. Yeah.
Yes, extra. It should be extra.
Extra. Okay.
And ghee is great.
Ghee.
Ghee,
Yeah.
it's like Indian butter,
Yeah.
which is really good.
Clarified
Avocados,
butter.
exotic fruit. Avocado is actually also pretty good fat. So
Mm-hmm.
try to keep or nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nuts,
Nuts.
like
Yeah.
nuts, cashew nuts, almonds, raisins,
Like
dates.
dry fruits. Yeah.
Yes, dry fruits. So these are like healthy fats. So incorporate them when you're feeling hungry. Uh, the best way again to lose fat is to feel satiated without eating much. So
Yeah.
if you eat your food uh, really slow, in about
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes, that satiation effect takes place, and it will make you feel fuller, even if you haven't eaten a lot. So the
Mm.
faster you will eat, the more calories you will intake, and the heavier you will be. So
And what's the role of water?
what's the role of water? I think you should hydrate yourself, but not too much as well.
Mm-hmm.
People have this myth about, drink as much water as possible.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yes, please don't do that. It's silly advice.
Hmm.
I mean, most of us are not really drinking too much water. For most of you, it's going to be good advice to drink more than you should. However, if you're drinking water, you should also supplement yourself with some sort of electrolyte, because
Mm-hmm.
extreme amounts of water will take the sodium out of your blood. And the way our brain connects with our body is through sending electrical signals, and electrical signals are sent by electrons. And if there is no sodium, the transfer of electrons becomes like lower,
Oh.
and so you need electrolytes when it comes to overhydrating. There is always something that you can overdo.
Okay.
Can people die with overhydrating? Yes, there was, I think, a case a person died.
Oh.
I think it was drowning, but no, it was just overhydrating. She drank a lot of water, just on
Ah,
maniac
okay.
levels. But in the morning, the one cool thing about water that I do in the morning is add half a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt, and it will increase the level of electrolytes. It will make your brain work faster, and yeah, just with caffeine is also pretty good. So, Brian, there are too many tangents that we could take about talking about diets
Yeah,
and
it'll
all
take a whole
those
day.
things. Exactly, and maybe I will put a list of where I get this information.
Yeah.
You really cannot learn it; just like comes
Yeah,
with
maybe you can
experience.
put it in the description.
Yes,
down
it
there.
comes with experience, guys. Tried and tested.
Yeah.
However, okay. So next question is, we are approaching the end of this podcast.
Yep. So
All right.
it's what role does testosterone play in your body, and why does it have controversial reputation? Because I have heard a lot of things about
bad about testosterone?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
And how can one naturally optimize it for health and muscle gain?
Right. So, okay, we gotta talk a little bit into the depth of what testosterone. It's a hormone,
Yeah.
right? And just like any other hormone, it's produced naturally in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
What testosterone does for a male and a female differs just a bit, like because males have 80 times more testosterone than females, and vice versa. And what's testosterone for males is estrogen for females.
Okay.
What testosterone does for a male is it makes effort feel good. And that's the reason why the people who have higher levels of testosterone, they have higher. You can always use testosterone in wrong ways, being aggressive, picking up a bar fight, or, But higher levels of testosterone uh, makes the effort actually feel good to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't quote this myself. This a lot of this information is taken from a person that is really respected neuroscientist called Andrew Huberman.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
listen to his podcast quite often, and it's source of an authentic information. And I picked up this sentence from there. So this is what testosterone does. And now, on the contrary, does testosterone makes you aggressive? It's uh, Does testosterone make you aggressive? If you are an aggressive person, you can always take testosterone as a scapegoat, and yes, it's making me aggressive, but
Yeah.
that's quite your problem. But contrary to popular belief, it doesn't actually do that. It makes you more driven, more ambitious. But if you want to give it more aggressive, no, not the correct use of words, in my opinion. Higher testosterone generally means in males higher ability to put on muscle mass.
Okay.
Right. So, what does that mean? What's a healthy amount of testosterone levels in a male? It's somewhere from 600 deciliter per nanogram to 1200. 1200 being on extremely high. If you have natural testosterone of 1200, my dude, you're blessed. But if you have less than 500, not that you cannot survive, but the life is going to generally feel on hard mode. That's what it is. So the higher you, there's an interesting fact about this as well. Your level of testosterone also depends on the hierarchy of your work environment. If you have a commanding boss that tells you all the time what to do, you will naturally have lower amounts of testosterone.
Oh.
It's again based on a study. And there's something called genetics and there's something called epigenetics. Let me give you an example of a pig and a wild boar, right? If you put a pig in a farm in great conditions, she will get fatter and pulpier, and like it's a soft pig.
Yeah.
Which cannot even look at the stars, right? It's just pigs cannot really look up. So that's a pig. And you put the same pig in forest, right? And you will see it will grow thick hair, thick skin. It will be more aggressive, bigger. Those now you can say that these are different species of pig, but ultimately they branch off from the same species. So that's the thing.
Okay.
Your environment will determine how much of a testosterone you do have.
Okay.
Yes, this is what your body does. It upregulates testosterone when it feels like you need to put on more muscles. If it feels like you are in a survival situation, if it feels like you need more testosterone to survive in a society which is like harder to survive in, it will give you more testosterone. It will upregulate that testosterone. However, if it feels like if you don't have much say in what you do, where you work, you don't feel happy, so it will downregulate the testosterone and it will put you more on the lesser driven side of the card. Now that was about it. So what's the cheat code to it? Can we increase the testosterone naturally? Yes, we can. We can. The number one predictor of your testosterone is the quality of your sleep. There are three types of sleep, but like deep sleep, which is like REM sleep and non-REM sleep. REM means like rapid eye movement, and non-REM is like non-rapid eye movement. That's like your eyes are resting, and then your eyes are like kind of moving, and that's the time when you are dreaming. It's like deep sleep, and it goes in cycles. Like that's the reason why you have sometimes when you have a dream, and it feels like it has been like hours of dream, but it's like it usually happens.
The time is very small.
Exactly, like it usually happens when you just wake up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you try to go to sleep and you have this like massive dream and you're like, it's just been like 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's like those rapid eye movements. It's time dilation in our sleep.
Mm.
So your amount of quality sleep that you're getting is going to be the biggest predictor of your testosterone. Ideally, there's only 1 to 2% of people who can actually survive and functional. They are really functional when it comes to taking 5 hours of sleep and doing good in life. But 98% of the people in this world, including you guys, we cannot really function too good on less than 7.5 to 8 hours. However, the older you get, the less sleep you need for whatever reasons. But 7 to 8 hours is a good time to aim. Even the busiest, and the richest man in the world, like Jeff Bezos, he prioritizes his sleep more than
Yeah.
anything. And here's a misconception about sleep, that what sleep does is it separates our emotions from our memories.
Mhm.
That's the biggest thing that sleep does, along with repairing our body, growing our hair, nails, and doing all those stuff. But that's what happens if you suffered a traumatic event today, right?
Mhm.
And you have an emotion, like maybe a negative emotion associated with something that happened to you today. Sleep over it. That's what we say, right?
Yeah.
And the next day you're going to maybe feel that you will memorize that event perfectly, but you're
Yeah.
not going to have that physical reaction of that trauma response. You will not
Yeah.
the next day, not
Right.
as much. So
Yeah.
that's what sleep does. So get proper sleep, more
Mhm.
than 8 hours. Do intermittent fasting, as I said. That 36 hours is good to go. If this is called water fasting, you should take your electrolytes, otherwise you'll go crazy. It's not easy, but it gets easier later.
Mhm.
Cold showers, extremely cold showers are great for you. Do I hate them? Yes, every time I get into them. How often do I take them? Almost daily. I might sometimes start with a hotter shower, but I
But then-
usually take it to cold. 30 seconds to a minute and a half to 3 minutes, just depends on how am I feeling that day, right?
Right.
But cold showers are extremely good for you, because it puts your body into a sudden shock, which
Yeah.
just it's great for your immune system.
Mhm.
Then plenty of water with the salt,
Yeah.
not too much salt as well. Right supplements, and a great mindset also helps to upregulate your testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the life is not too good without like
So that means everything is here.
hmm Everything is here, and this is driven by everything that goes on in here, right? And yes,
Okay.
so that's
I
was
think
about
so. We are almost there, and we have a last question. That is, can you give an overview of performance enhancing substances?
Right. So performance enhancing substances, or PED, performance enhancing drugs, these are banned in Olympics because they kind of give you superhuman abilities.
Yeah.
What does steroid actually mean, right? This is substances which mimic some hormones in our body.
Mhm.
These are not the proper hormones,
Oh.
but these are some substances which mimic the nature of uh, hormones in our body, which are essential for our muscular performance, endurance, and all those kind of things. For example, higher testosterone, higher muscle mass. So your natural testosterone, let's say it's 800 right now, which is really good. But if you want to maximize your muscle growth, you can inject yourself with the testosterone, synthetic testosterone, intravenously, and you could take it up to 2000, right? But you have to like onload and deload and all those kind of things. So these are also called anabolic steroids. A couple of examples are human growth hormone, then it is trenbolone, and then you have your simple testosterone.
Oh.
So if you take these steroids, and there are many more in the market. Mexico, it's legal, so you could legally buy them. Probably not in Poland. In India as well, you could legally buy them. That's where I got my dose from. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so these are substances which mimic the role of testosterone.
Okay.
It will make you feel amazing because it's technically a drug. It will make you feel super confident, super dominant. It will increase your muscle mass, but it will also femininize your DNA. Now,
No.
you know why it does that? Because when you take external testosterone, your body has a signal. Oh, I'm getting testosterone from outside, so I don't really need to make it by myself.
Okay.
So your testicles shrink, and when you are offloading, when you're stop taking testosterone, you will be in a depressed state of mind. It would be like your body is already not producing testosterone, your external source is going down, so all of the muscles that you gained because of that testosterone will go down because there is not enough testosterone to support the pre-existing amount of muscles there. So that's the reason why steroids are sort of dangerous, because they are really hard on your liver, they're really hard on your heart, they're hard on all of the organs. There was a bodybuilder called Rich Piana, and he died because of steroid abuse. And there are a lot of young people. There was one of my favorite bodybuilders called Joe Aesthetics. He died at 29 because he was coming out of a sauna. Aesthetic god, just a Greek god, but he died because abusing steroids. He wanted to stay in shape below 5% body fat, and you look great, you look amazing, you just look phenomenal, but the price is that your heart is bigger. But doesn't it mean bigger heart means better blood circulation? Not quite. A little bit stronger heart is good for your blood circulation. However, when the walls expand too much, the heart's capability to contract becomes less and less. And so there was this bodybuilder, Rich Piano, who died, and he had a heart almost equal to a heart of a horse.
Oh.
Yes, his heart just expanded too much because of the steroid abuse. So one thing about steroids, don't do it. You don't need it until at least 30. After 30, your testosterone start to fall by 1 to 2% every year. And maybe when you're 45-year-old, I'm talking about males, then you can go to testosterone replacement therapy, which is like a scientific method that doctor prescribe you to give a good amount of testosterone just to keep you at a healthy and a good mood. Once you start doing steroids, there's no coming back. There's always this saying that one cycle of steroids won't hurt. It will, believe me. Once you get on the cycle, you will feel so amazing, you will see those added benefits. However, the moment you will stop it, you will feel like absolute shit.
Yeah.
Your muscles will go down, everything will be destroyed, and you will be forced
To take it
your
again.
body will be forcing you to take it one more time. It's just like crack. And then there is human growth hormone. You can naturally release human growth hormone from sauna. 30 minutes sauna is great. When you are entering puberty, a lot of HGH is released. That's responsible for your height, weight, and all those sorts of things. And then there is trenbolone. Now, trenbolone is a funny anabolic steroid, which was used initially in veterinary medicine, and it was used to give to the livestock. If you give trenbolone to a bull, it will become bigger. If it becomes bigger, you can sell it for more profit, right? And then people started abusing it to get bigger, because in this day and age of social media, where you have unrealistic body expectations for both males and females, everyone wants to look their best, and they will go to any lengths to get the public's attention, even if it means just being famous for 15 minutes. It's not really worth your health. A healthy person wants a Ferrari, he wants a Lamborghini, he wants a Rolls Royce. And an unhealthy person only wants one thing, is to be healthy.
Right.
Once your health is gone, you're
You're
down
gone.
bad, mate. Yes, you just lost it, and that's how it works. So remember, guys, for every high there is a low. Steroids are not worth it. If you really want to do it when you're 50 or more, and
And once you have kids.
once you have kids. Yes, again, funnily enough, if you do steroids before you have kids, there
are
is a
issues.
chance
I have
that
heard
you
that.
might not have kids if you would have abused them. Now, does everybody react to steroids the same way? Not really. It depends on your genetics. It depends on so many factors, but yeah. Do I have these thoughts of doing steroids sometimes when I just go to the gym and don't really see results? Absolutely, yes. I entertain that thought, but I just keep it there because it's absolutely not worth it. Follow a healthy lifestyle, sleep nicely, eat nicely, and just remember, a healthy brain lives in a healthy body. That was my 2 cents about it. Brian, you've heard a lot today.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking
And
me
I've
these
learned-
questions.
Yeah.
I hope this will provide some value to the listeners as well. This is for all my friends, all my viewers. You can take some information which might suit you. Don't take it word to word, especially when it comes to supplementation. But again, consistency is king. That's the most rare human quality. Be consistent, be happy, and keep lifting.
Yep.
It was a pleasure. Thank you all.
Thanks so much, and thank you, Deepanshu, for having me here. and
Thank
it
you, Brian.
was a good conversation, and I learned a lot of things. Hope you use it in your healthy life too. So
Thank
that's
you.
it, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.